me with a call on Discord when you're ready. Hello. Hold up. I see a problem.
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Loud and clear. He can't hear me though. So at the start of the stream,
Yeah, that was way too loud.
testing. Does that sound proper now? So at the start of the stream, I ran into a bunch of problems with Windows because Windows broke my audio settings. So I just had to tell it where my microphone was. But if you can hear me and chat can hear you, I assume chat can. Does he sound good? It looks fine on my end, but it's whether or not you guys can hear him. But
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
they should be able to. But we're in Europa level 2. We got Fire Angel and off to a pretty good start. I'm very stacked right now. We're sitting on like a tactical rifle and a jackhammer and a nice revolver. So
Yeah, I
But-
was following more or less. Just give me a second, I'll also adjust a few things. The volume is a bit too loud. Okay.
Fucking reload already.
I think I'm gonna turn down character voices a little bit more, just because voiceover volume I forgot to turn down.
Lonk. And Twitter.
And thank you. So, I'm assuming everybody in chat knows who I'm talking to, but this is Epion, or Cornell, who is creator and founder of Chaos Forge, who made this game. And I don't know, for the next hour and a half or so, we're gonna be seeing how deep I can go and whether or not I die horribly like yesterday. But hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Also, as usual, if anybody has any questions related to the game or its development, I'll gladly answer those.
And something that people have done in previous rounds is like refrain from asking technical questions. Please ask technical questions because they're fun to listen to for me, even though I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, just you know, if I start answering a question and like 30 minutes later you realize that I'm still answering the same question, just tell me to stop.
I mean, that also has happened before, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, that's also kind of the fun of these, right? It's just the opportunity to answer very minute technical questions about games like this. It's kind of like a Reddit AMA almost, but just live stream format. I think take a look at your GPU and you can answer that own question for yourself.
I think both. Well, depends if you're playing Fire. No, actually, Fire Angel shouldn't be that heavy on performance. The outline for the icons might be a small performance hog, but only on lower end systems.
What, like for
Yeah, well, I'll probably.
new fire effect kind of thing?
No, the fire effect is cheap. Surprisingly, the icon outlines are expensive.
Oh, interesting. Like the okay, wow. Wonder why that is.
Well, it's not the best way to implement that, but but this was a badly needed feature, and I didn't have time to spend a lot on it. Two curbs. The question is cell-based lighting. You mean the visibility algorithm, which tells which cells are visible or not, or are you asking about the the GPU, the graphical lighting? Also, I love that the first question was like fix your game, damn it.
I mean, isn't that just game dev though? It's
Yeah,
like
that's precisely game dev.
like whenever I like open up community questions to talk with Tarn Adams, there's like first 3 questions is like, when are you getting multi-threading? It's like, well, never. Answer to that one's still the same.
Yeah, the most famous one is how about multiplayer?
When are you adding multiplayer? Although like the problem is like Crypt of the Necrodancer just did that. And so
Yeah,
you're,
but
you're
it works because they do have something called, they do have this reaction time thing.
yeah, but still, people are gonna make like I've already seen people making that comparison too, like other
Ouch.
games. It's just like, well, I mean, Crypt of the Necrodancer did it, so like, can we get that in CUD? It's like,
Okay, yeah, that must be annoying. Okay, the visibility. He has the game has actually a map of visibility when doing the graphics, and it checks on the map whether a given cell is lit or not. And if the point that it's rendering is close to the edge, it actually starts doing a small fade between a grayscale image and a color image. So that's why you see those edges on the. You still see the squares, but you see those edges are not very sharp, right? It's a small gradual fade. Yeah, I'm kind of proud of that one, because this is not something you can achieve with a regular rendering pipeline on a on a off-the-shelf engine. And it also gives the game a completely unique look. And God, I really love this generator.
yeah, this is probably my favorite. It's like kind of a tie between this and then Europa Ruins are probably my two favorite generators in the game right now. Which I'm kind of tempted to go through now and then piss off God. But
there's still so much things to add to Europa Ruins. I've got so many like little doodads, like dedicated crates for Europa Ruins, dedicated scatter terrain elements with because the idea is that they set up like a research stations there, so I've got those elements for those research stations.
Oh, okay.
But it's all time that you need to invest quite a bit of time to make this not look for every piece not to look the same, so to have some random rotations and stuff, and it's time spent on something that has zero gameplay effect, right?
Well, I mean,
So
I
it's
would
always,
say it does have gameplay effect because atmosphere helps and makes the game feel different. Also,
Well,
on a
Fire
lockdown.
gave a lot of atmosphere. don't know if you saw the Desolation level event yet. I don't think so. Sometimes as a level event you get a version of the low light event, but without a terminal to set those lights up, and everything is destroyed and there are fires in the dark.
No, I've never seen that. That's cool. I hope I run into that soon. This is maybe the easiest lockdown cancel I've ever had. It's like, oh, it's a lockdown. Okay, shut it off. Problem solved. Thanks for the free
like
XP
that
game.
There was a small Easter egg in Tomb the Roguelike, where if you entered a maze level, there was a level feeling that was basically like, where the hell is the exit or something like that. And if the exit generated like within 5 steps of the entry, you would get another one. Oh, there it is.
Well, that was
like instead of making it generate like on the other side, I decided this will be funnier. And yeah, the UI is definitely the most love or hate thing in the game.
Yeah, it's crazy to me
People
how
either love
divisive
it or hate it. Yeah.
Because to me, it's like the UI is one of my favorite features of this game. But like, I've had some people who are just like, God, that is one of the worst UIs I've ever seen. Or it's like, God, I love that UI. There's no in between.
Yeah, very very rarely people have like a meh reaction. It's either wow, I love it, or like.
I wonder.
Is this game unfinished?
Seeing
Technically,
if I
it
can
is.
spread fire through a door. Isn't everything unfinished though? It's like video games are like tattoos now. It's always a work in progress.
Well, if you're selling something and you're telling that it's totally finished, and you're selling it for $60, that looks a little worse.
Well, I mean, those games are finished, but they're finished in that they're designed to show, like, separate you from as much money as possible. This game's just designed to sell you a copy, I think. Well, also a copy to all of your friends as well, because they realize what they're missing out on, ideally.
Hopefully. Well, look, the main point is I'm not trying to, sell season passes, microtransactions, and shit like that. So all the updates are free, and I don't think we'll have a DLC for this game. So any updates will always be free.
I mean, for whatever it's worth, I probably would have spent $5 on the last 4 updates each. But it is what it is. Hi, Arrowtha. How are you? It's patch day, in fact.
Yeah, I always tell this. I always tell somebody that if he really wants, updates are free. If you really want to support the game, just buy it for someone else.
Buy it a second time?
Yeah, people do that.
Or buy it on another platform?
No. They actually buy it as Steam gifts, right? Sent to people, which is really nice. And currently, that's the only official way to support the game, apart from buying that one copy. Bam. I wonder how far visual. What's the visual lag between what I see and what you're doing?
Well, I mean, you can always check the Twitch delay, but you said bam maybe half a second after the thing I did, so I mean, huh. I'm staring at this Cryo Reaver and I'm going to shoot right now. So that'll maybe answer the question for you.
No, it's like 3 seconds. 2-3 seconds.
Not too bad. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good by Twitch definitions. So the goal of this current update was to kind of rework the branches, and I've only seen the one branch so far, as far as rework stuff goes. But the goal of this update was to rework the branches in the second to last zone IO. Was the approach to doing that very similar to reworking previous branches, or is there anything kind of specific that you wanted to achieve with the later zones, aside from?
Well, it was different because due to the fact that due to how development was progressing, basically the further you go, the more ready the given branch was. So when I was doing IO and adding IO branches, I already was after adding several other branches, so they already had IO special levels definitely had a lot more going for them, and not being just pure levels, right? With the red key cards, with the BFG, with the BFG surprise party and stuff like that. So there was less design space to actually make something out of it. So with the 2 BFG branches, I went a completely different way. I made a mechanic that's not something that you're supposed to solve every run, but something that could be considered a challenge.
Interesting. Now I want to go those routes. I know what I have to do today then.
Tigozaur, I'm actually preparing to start working on the next project, so no, this is definitely not a live project for me. I mean, at some point I will stop doing content updates for Jupiter Hell, but this is not. But today is not today. And at some point I really want to do something there was the new Doom, right? The 2016 Doom. And there was Doom Eternal, and Doom Eternal actually isn't that much different from Doom in the whole concept idea. It's just there's a lot more of everything in it, and a lot better. So I had a concept of doing such a thing for Jupiter Hell at some point. That this will be a Jupiter Hell Eternal. Oh, something like that.
I will say there is one mechanic in Doom Eternal that I kind of hate, which is that flow state that they're always talking about, where they're just you have to use a specific series of weapons. To me, it's just like, well, the fun gun in Doom is the shotgun, and you use the shotgun until you run out of ammo for the shotgun, and then you swap to the other guns until you find more shotgun ammo. And it really makes me sad that it's largely the reason I skipped Doom Eternal was because I want to use the shotgun in Doom, and it's the reason if I want to play Doom now, I'm going to go back and play Doom 2016, not Doom Eternal, because I want to use the shotgun.
Well, to be honest, I actually enjoyed the flow of battle. Once I learned it, once I started quite efficiently. Oh, so you went to ruins. Quite efficiently. Swapping between those three attack modes, it kind of became like a dance, and it had this really nice. Yeah, I would say there's really nice flow. There's definitely not something I would add to Jupiter Hell, but if I would ever do Doom the roguelike, if I would ever do a Doom the roguelike, I would probably put some parts of that mechanic in.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, like, if you're making a Doom-themed game again, then you'd need something that would fit that. But the reason I've gone this route specifically is because I want to try and fight the non-infinite greed dudes. But, you know.
Well, we'll see if the fix worked.
Hopefully. Also, this is, like, not even fair for the demons in this map, because they've got wind chill and I've got fire.
Yeah, the wind chill should actually kill fire.
Well, it doesn't.
Or should it?
Depends on how hot my fire's burning, I guess.
At least it should make it go down faster, right?
Found a hard elixir.
Yep, that's the plus 5 permanent HP one.
Makes me feel less bad about using a military stim pack late game. Also, hey Lump, we're doing well. Investments are open if anybody wants to throw imaginary points into the bucket. So is there any branch or change in this patch that you're particularly proud of? I know that
I'm proud of the fire. Yeah.
The fire thing is something that's just super cool, because who doesn't like burning stuff?
And I'm quite happy with the changes to both of the, alien environments, this one and the cathedral. I'm just really unhappy that there's so much I left behind. But I'll add it eventually, don't worry. Because I really love this tile set.
Yeah, it's such a Prometheus feeling tile set, which is, I think, part of the reason it's so much fun. While not the best movie, it was certainly aesthetically great.
Yeah. Totally my opinion. Like, it was a really dumb movie in terms of how the characters behaved. I mean, when I looked at that movie, I had this reaction like, so this is how normal people see us scientists? Like, those were the dumbest scientists I've ever seen on screen. I mean, apart from obvious comedy, right?
I mean, it's maybe how Hollywood sees scientists.
Well, look, there's a weird black goo. Let me put my finger into it and see what it is. Like, how dumb can you get? I don't remember, but there were like at least 5 situations there that were like complete disregard of even basic, scientific protocol.
Or like safety.
Yeah, I wonder if the air here is breathable.
Takes mask off.
I think so. Yeah, exactly.
Certainly smells like it. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, the other person is very Eastern European.
So for anybody just tuning in, more directly at Arrow, the person that I'm speaking with made this video game, so this is his baby. So we're kind of we've done a few of these now. Like, maybe I think this might be the 3rd or 4th one, where it's just kind of a open chat Q&A session where we just kind of chat about various sci-fi and video games, and you can ask him weird esoteric programming questions if you want.
Yeah, and I am Polish.
think I'm just gonna rip apart this tack rifle because I'm running out of 9mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip apart this tack rifle.
And Arrow, that was the whole point. The idea was to make a classic roguelike game, but with something more modern than ASCII or pixel art.
And it's on sale right now, Arrow, though.
Athros, the hardest part was actually, I have to say it like, the hardest part was that decision that I decided to write this from scratch, the whole engine. So like there were many significant challenges, and it's hard to pinpoint one that was like the hardest.
At the very least, you're not even remotely connected to John Riccatello's bullshit.
I'm sorry, but when I look at all that drama, I'm just like, you know, eating popcorn in the corner.
Yeah. Where'd that? Well, that's the one that.
So who were the people who said I'm crazy when I said that you don't have control over your engine and the people that made your engine can make stupid mistakes? Who called me an idiot then? I don't remember.
I don't actually know who called you an idiot, so I'm not going to guess.
But there were such situations, I mean, because it's pretty obvious that, you know, being in the game development community for so long and doing this really crazy project of doing this thing myself, I had so many people tell me I'm stupid.
When your backpack is full, Arrow, that's when you sleep.
Actually, including the founder of Unity.
Called you an idiot? Well, I guess he kind of called everybody an idiot, sort of.
No, the founder, Helgeson.
Oh, not John Riccatello.
Yeah. But it was no. It was like he was making fun. There were a few people in that conversation, and he was. And somebody said he's doing a game in Unity, and he like jokingly said, "Well, you must be an idiot. It's a lot of work." And I said, "And I'm doing a game on my own custom-built engine." And he's like, "You're a special kind of idiot."
That's like a weirdly directed compliment, though.
Yeah, that really felt like a compliment.
Like, there's crazy people, and then there's really crazy people. There's crazy people that the crazy people respect. I think I just friendly fired my own robot with fire. I need to test that with Wizard. Or rather with stuff hacked, because I think I just set my
resources. That was always a big issue because, well, there were many, you know, like news groups and websites and people, you know, sharing what they're doing, but there was hardly any manuals on how to write an engine. I mean, there are a few books, but those are always have the issue that they're all... Actually, I think this is still true. All the books that you can get about engine development will either be too vague, like engine is made out of those components, and then you do those components, and this component exists, and this component exists, and this is how you do some of those components. Or they are too specific, like if you want to have shadow cascading, shadow casting lights, this is the way you're doing it, right? And there was like there was barely any material on how to organize an engine, how to make all the parts work together. There was one series of books that was extremely good. I mean, it wasn't like a manual, but it was tips and tricks related to engine design. It was called Game Engine Gems, I think.
Gems.
Yeah. So Game Engine Gems, and it was probably one of the best content, useful content to size ratio books that I've read. But mostly it was trial and error. Let's be honest.
So yeah, Arrow.
Let's see if I can make it.
This game is it's a timeline-based, turn-based system. So things take seconds, essentially, and everything's on its own movement clock, and different actions take different amounts of time. If you actually look down in the bottom right next to like where it says where my gun is, it says how much time the last action I took. So swapping guns is 0.025 to that one is 0.5. 1 second. Reloading costs time. Everything costs time, and time is a resource, just like real life.
Yeah, I think traditionally Angband had a system of that something can take twice 2 turns or 1 turn, and if you're slowed, it takes half a turn. I think it was made like that, but I don't remember. And I also know that they changed the timing mechanics at some point. So it's a bit different than Angband. It's a bit closer to what, for example, Adam had, because Adam had a, I think, more detailed time system. But it's a completely turn-based system, right? The speed in which you play has no meaning.
But because of the fluidness of it, people often mistake it for
Yeah.
a clunky twin-stick shooter, which is kind of sad.
It's really sad because, like, on Steam, you get a lot of like really short, how do you call it, bursts of visibility that somebody saw your game through just clicked, saw a few screenshots, or just watched like 10 seconds of a video, and usually those make up most of your sales and most of your formerly called conversions. And we have a really bad conversion rate because most of the people that would be interested in this kind of game see a couple, screenshots, see a moment of video, and say, twin-stick shooter. Which is sad.
Yeah, it doesn't quite stand out as much as a traditional roguelike, unlike something like Cut or Cogmind, where it's just like, yes, this is a roguelike-ass roguelike, because, ASCII and all those nightmares.
Speaking of Angband, Fangband, F Angband, not first H Angband, so not F-A Angband. Fangband was my first roguelike game.
I think I've ever played that one.
Well, it was like an early variant, very similar to the mainline Angband. I don't even remember what the differences were.
The only Angband variant I remember encountering was Zangband, and I never actually played it.
Oh, I played a lot of Zangband.
I played,
but mostly because I'm a fan of Zelazny.
I played normal Angband and then switched to Tales of Middle-earth because I guess I was a Middle-earth nerd when I was little.
Tigozaur, that will tell nobody anything. The word is meaningless for most of the players.
Yeah.
It was like Binding of Isaac, right?
It's not your father's Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, I never played Tome, to be honest, which I feel bad about, because especially I felt bad about when meeting Dark God. I'm like, I never played Tome. I played so much Dumarel, and I'm like, but I never played Tome.
Tome is like what I recommend to people who want to try roguelikes who are very, very, very into an auto amp. Who are very, very, very into Diablo. It's like if you're super into Diablo, like that's your game. You should play that.
Well, I would kind of disagree because, well, maybe I'm wrong because I haven't, as I said, I haven't played, I watched it. But it more, reminds me of like World of Warcraft in terms of all this, this huge skill bar, this huge selection of, different classes, different races and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it more comes in mind. But as I said, I cannot say anything. I didn't. Oh, I stopped watching what you're actually doing, so I don't know.
I'm dumping stuff I don't need, so I have inventory space.
Okay, so you're going for the Wrath.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
absolutely going because I got a an ancient phase kit, so I've got a way out. I'm gonna grab the heart and then, or
So even if it's buggy, you get a way out.
no, I only have one way out because I'm gonna use it to get out of here. So I'm gonna
okay.
take the extra 5 HP. We're gonna skip that, and then I'm gonna take the heart, and then I'm gonna see if I can get to that auto amp. And then I'm going to teleport out.
What the hell?
Did you take the armor?
I have a different armor that I'm keeping.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
might-
Guardian Angel.
I'm kind of thinking about swapping the armor. We'll see.
Well, they're not doing too much to you.
I might also just be able to walk out. Like I got 3 stim packs. Like I could probably just walk out.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
just-
each pickup you right now do, I think, adds 5 to the amount of summoned guardians at the boss fight. And each one that you kill now actually will not appear later, right?
Yeah.
But these ones have an overshield, and the ones that get teleported into the fight don't. But damn, they're taking so much burning damage.
Yeah. Didn't it say that
Oh,
burning was
because-
capped to 50? Or am I crazy?
Yes, but they've got the affinity, which makes them go over that.
Okay. I might just pick them all off, actually.
Which makes sense. Haha, all that energy you will not be able to take.
Yeah, well. Life's hard.
I think it's kind of sad, but with Fire Angel, it's one shot, I think, and they'll die. If you hit.
Yep. Can confirm.
That's
mean-
how you can kill the Cryomancer with one napalm grenade. There's a way that stacking works in Jupiter Hell. I said that I will fix this, but I won't fix this because it affects too many systems. I need to somehow remake the way this stacking works in the game. Sorry, not stacking, but how damage negative resistance works.
Also, keep in mind, we're playing on medium difficulty. I normally play on ultraviolence or hard, so I'm 2 difficulties lower than I'm used to. Yeah, that armor's not that relevant. I'd rather have the Guardian.
No,
Yeah.
Guardian protects you from being one-shotted.
Yeah, which is helpful.
And Guardian armor is actually a small reference to League of Legends.
So what you're saying is you're gonna buy a smaller Path of Exile supporter pack and buy this game? I think that's how I'm reading that. Also, I mean, for anybody who's curious, I have 412 hours on this game, and I haven't seen everything. There's some things I still haven't done. Like, I've only finished Inferno on medium. Haven't done the big secret. I haven't done all the purgatory stuff, and I haven't done the dog stuff.
Yeah. Dog, by the way, doing the dog thing, the first, couple of levels are extremely hard, but once you get the dog rolling, you can go to Dante level 2 and just say hunt.
That's kind of ridiculous.
The dog is nice. I'm really proud of the dog. And it was just a joke about how Jupiter Hell could get to the... It all started as a joke. How could we get... which we finally didn't even try. How could we get Jupiter Hell into the Can You Pet a Dog Discord, Twitter account?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean,
So, yeah, you
just
can
need
pet the
somebody to
dog in
submit a
Jupiter Hell.
clip, pretty much.
Yeah, but you can pet the dog. I don't know if it counts as a dog though.
Dog-like creature.
It's definitely dog-like.
I mean, if
Okay, so Taylor B, I saw that there was a
Go on.
question that I didn't answer. Yes, I actually.
Need to get rid of some shit.
I'm. Yes and no. I'm definitely going to release the engine at some point. I'm not sure whether I'm going to release it soonish or rather than laterish. And also, I'm wondering whether to actually make. There's an idea that has been floating around my mind for a long time. There's a space in the indie scene, in the game development scene for indie engine. What I mean by indie engine is something that works perfectly well with 2D games and has capabilities of doing like simple top-down 3D. Is very user-friendly, so it's not a code-forward engine. It's one that you have blueprints or something like that. And I always thought that Godot would, or Godot. I don't know how you.
I was corrected
Okay.
on this recently, it's Godot.
Bring him on.
Godot, waiting for Godot. Okay. I always thought they would go this direction, but after they got money, they got delusions of grandeur and decided to be a 3D engine. And in my opinion, they would go far better to focus on 2D and become a really good, usable 2D engine. But never mind that. I think there's still place for a sensible 2D engine that will not be bloated. So basically, if you want to do a 2D game in Unity, it will be definitely overbloated with a shitload of stuff Unity doing that you don't need. Which is the reason why many like higher tier indies decide to roll up a custom engine for their 2D games, even despite the fact that Unity exists.
So what you're saying is you want to make this engine more accessible to just make simple games in it before you release it, kind of deal?
This is something I'm thinking about, but this would require like a significant investment of money, and this is not something that I would want to do alone anyway. Because to make it commercially viable, it would need tutorials, documentation, a lot of writing tools and shit like that. So this is basically a big investment for a bigger group of people, plus support and stuff like that. So I would think about it as a at some point as a potential way forward with what I want to do. Also, I didn't say this engine, I said an engine.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, if I would be going this path again, I wouldn't be doing everything from scratch. I would, reuse a lot of stuff, but that doesn't mean that this would be particularly this engine. Especially that I really love the idea. There's a dead engine right now called Our Machinery, or The Machinery, which got killed in very suspicious circumstances. But they had a brilliant idea of making a modular engine. So the idea was that you only, load up those modules that you actually need. You want to make a 2D game, just, load up the core engine and a 2D module, and, don't load all that shit that is in Unity and on Unreal. Just use the things that you want, right? So that was a brilliant idea, and I'm really sad that the engine died in unexplained circumstances. But that means there's also this space for something like that.
So now we find out if your bug fix stopped the bad guys from infinitely spawning.
Well, I wonder if anything will spawn actually. I mean, if the curse.
Because I did kill everything, so if it...
Yeah, but it might still trigger because you stole additional items, and additional items, increase the tally of available Temple Guardians.
Well, we'll find out. Because I took pretty much everything.
Yeah, but okay, but Arthas and Two Curbs. The point is that neither Hacks or Godot, Godot, neither of them are actually what I would say production ready for 2D. It's both that it's the question of ease of use, of being able to, you know, quickly create a given game that you like. And the other question problem is I want to click export to Xbox, export to PlayStation 5, export to Switch, and I want to have you know, obviously needing possibly needing some optimization, but I want to have, you know, ready products. And this is a big issue with all the wannabe engines out there. I mean, it's sure, like for example, Bevy or other, you know, like projects, hobby projects of people. It's cool that they're doing it, but if the engine doesn't have an export towards PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, it is kind of useless for anything else than a hobby project. I mean, or a, you know, small indie thing, because the cost of porting something to consoles from an engine that doesn't have like a ready solution for that is prohibitive. And if you want to make a success with a game, and you have a successful game and you're not releasing it on consoles, you're possibly killing half of the potential money that you can earn on that game. Unless it's a game that's not suited for consoles, like, I don't know, like grand strategy games, right?
Well, so good news. They did spawn. It spawned 5. I killed all 5, and they stopped spawning. So.
Arthas, question here. I didn't see. Oh, I might have seen. Yeah. But still, it's not. It's.
This must be Io.
Let me just do a quick Google.
Do what you gotta do. But it's I'm just happy that the enemies didn't infinitely respawn in that level again. Although I did literally one-shot the boss. I shot him once and he just burned to death.
Atros, but is it something that I just, you know, click an installer, install, and click myself a platform game without writing any code? Because this is what I mean when talking about there's a place for a solid 2D engine. I have to have a YouTube video, I have to be able to download the game and just click myself out game.
I really like those
God-
napalm explosions.
A fire angel without even having to be a fire angel, huh?
Yeah.
And the export, I know that Godot opened up a commercial branch of its organization just because they want to be able to provide a service of porting Godot games to consoles. But my biggest beef right now with Godot is them really trying to sell the idea that Godot is a high performance 3D engine, while they have so many. There's so much lacking compared to Unity and Unreal in terms of 3D and Godot that they're years away from being able to
That's better.
Compete.
well, to do a decently looking realistic graphics 3D game. Mostly it's the things that people don't talk about. It's like portal systems, visibility, cooling, and yeah, everything from that is actually in Godot at some level, but it's not production ready. Two Curbs. Yes, that's the funny thing. It might not work well or it might crash, but technically that's what you're doing.
I'm really trying to decide what loadout I want to go for from this point forward. Kind of want some plasma stuff, but I'm quite attached to my whole build right now. Although I should probably just get rid of this assault rifle. Swap that
Okay,
over
guys,
to a plasma rifle.
give me 5. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Also, I know I've been kind of quiet recently, but that's because I've just kind of been playing, and also I know very little about what is being discussed, which is totally fine. It just means it's an easy work day for me. That often ends up happening during these, where there's like these long periods of time where chat's just like having this super in-depth discussion with Cornell, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm playing the video game, guys. Yeah, I need to swap out this assault rifle for something. Question is, what do I want to swap it for? I'm kind of thinking just like going for something simple. Just swap over to the plasma rifle, because that's just a flat damage increase. Dumping all the 7.62 and then picking up the little lightning bolts. Could also mod something onto it. I don't think that anything has a one-click export to Panic's Playdate, with the exception of like Playdate's SDK. So, although I know that there is I know of 2 Playdate games actually that are having their design and 3D work done in Blender, modeled and set in Unity, rendered, and then using Lua code tied into the Playdate SDK to run on the Playdate. But to me, that just sounds like a lot of work and words that I don't understand because I'm an idiot, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. What do I want? Yeah, sure, Hunter. That's a good route to go with that. And then I think I actually have some space in my inventory. I do! Look at that. Let's take that other big old med kit. Just for the time being. That was because of the range of the plasma isn't the issue. That was the particular plasma weapon I was using, my petty.
Who needs lighting?
If you're talking about the blaster specifically. That's a, like, unique sort of. Not a fancy unique, but it's still a unique.
And back.
Welcome back.
Well, I'll just finish up because I had a moment to think on the engine issue. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Godot. I just don't think that they took the proper direction. I mean, making themselves like a premium 2D engine first and then going 3D would, in my opinion, far better secure the future of the project. But that's just my opinion, and maybe they have an idea for the future better than, obviously they know stuff that I don't, so maybe they see how they will like fare in the future, and obviously Riccatello's decisions really helped them out. so maybe everything will work out for them.
I mean, Unity's decisions is what makes the most money. Do that. But I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
More questions. Plasma problem?
Oh, that ultraviolence run that I died in, part of the issue was I had a plasma SMG and a blaster. Well, I had a blaster initially, and then I swapped to an SMG, which didn't have enough range to be effective on the build that I was using, but it's fine. Because I was humming and hawing over what gun to swap to while you were gone. But I'm using a plasma rifle now. Yep.
Epion is the call sign I use. But yeah, Kornel Kisielewicz.
Cornell, can't pronounce your last name. Never will try.
Oh, I shouldn't change my surname.
I mean, it's like I
I
can't.
don't know. Marry someone with a easy surname and take their surname.
My best friend Kevin has a very Polish last name, and his entire family can't pronounce it because they've like been in Canada for multiple generations, and none of them know how to say it properly. They're like, none of us. I'm like, how the hell do you say your last name? He's like, I can't pronounce my last name. It's like, okay, got it.
Zaur, Lua, you actually notice one of Lua's biggest strengths. It doesn't even have objects. It only has meta tables and tables. The whole idea is that you build an object-oriented system over it the way that you want to, instead of getting something that you might not totally like. So I actually love that about Lua, that it just has tables, meta tables, and you want an object-oriented system? Well, build it yourself. But I'm the guy who spent 10 years writing a custom engine for his game, so I might not be the best person in this regard.
Are you gatekeeping engine development?
Hey, look, this is awesome. You can build it yourself.
Who needs to be connected to Unity or associated with Godot or any of these other engines when you can just make your own? It's DIY,
Well,
kids.
It's like ordering a cake and getting a pound of flour, a pound of sugar, and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, cool, I can make it myself.
I mean, you joke, but isn't that just like what all those meal delivery services are?
Well, I like cooking, so so kind of the joke doesn't work well with me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, 2 curbs. That's exactly my point. I wish there were better, easier options for simple, smart, turn-based multiplayer games. Well, yeah, but obviously, if it would supposed to be a engine for commercial use, it definitely would need to have like first-class multiplayer implementation. And Lua is popular, actually. Ever heard of a small game called World of Warcraft?
So I did go Ruins to get the heart for the 100% cold resistance. I'm kind of not planning on going Shadow Halls, so what route should we go? We've got Black Site, Mines, and Infernal Lock.
Ręczyszczykiewicz.
So what do you think?
The random. Okay, wait. That was a question to me.
Yeah.
Could you repeat the question? I was reading chat.
I went Shadow, or rather, I went Ruins to get the heart mostly, but now we're through that zone, and so I'm trying to decide what route to go via Io. We've got Black Site and Mephetic Mines and Infernal Lock. Or I could just go Shadow Halls.
Skip the lock.
Skip the lock? Okay.
Skip the lock, skip Mephitic Mines, because nothing changed there. Go either Black Site or Shadow Halls. Your call. Actually, go Shadow Halls. I really want the new style generator to
Okay,
to finally
we'll go
appear.
Shadow Halls then. Which means I got a few floors.
Is it a... Oh, it's a 2-level Shadow Halls or 3-level Shadow Halls?
It's a 2 levels because it's Nexus.
Yeah.
Black Site would be the full. But we could do Shadow Halls. I'm okay with that. I have
You don't have any
enough
red
ammunition
threats
by
anywhere.
then. Don't currently have enough ammunition, but I will. Which means, do I hang on to the heart or do I dump it? Because I kind of don't want to do the monkey's paw. And cold resistance is useless now, so.
Athros, my feeling about Lua is exactly the same. And it's so small and efficient and performant. Love it.
So I've dumped the heart.
Tigosaur,
it as an
you
empty
can
space.
actually read the full specification of Lua within one evening, which is definitely not true compared to C or C++. Arrow, you're asking about Jupiter Hell, whether it works on Steam Deck, right? Steam, it works. People say it works perfectly fine, although some people have some issues with the game crashing on exit, but without any loss of data. But the game works perfectly well on a gamepad, so Steam Deck is no problem.
Yeah, I would assume this would work flawlessly on a Steam Deck.
So, fun story. I became a developer because I wanted to. Nobody wanted to make the games that I had an idea I would want to see a game like that. So I became a programmer just because nobody wanted to program my games. I have a background in computer science. I went for computer science studies. But the idea was always because I was doing my first ASCII roguelikes at the age of like 13, 14, I think. Why are you running it with Proton on Linux, on Steam? I mean on Linux. Works perfectly fine without Proton.
Yeah, this has a native Linux port. I guess that's one of those old habits die hard situations. Ooh. Fancy gun and level 6 of IO. But we'll see what I'm using by the time I get there.
Ticosaur, there's the manual for Lua actually tells you precisely what is happening under the hood, which I really love. Like for example, Lua has magic tables. The magic tables are that they both work as a regular array and as an associative container. But within the Lua programmer's manual, you can read explicitly how it is held underneath and what kind of structures are being used to hold those values. And considering that Lua's source code is so small, you can always go and check out what is actually happening under the hood. Which makes, you know, I also have that control freak thing. I really hate when something like I cannot stand languages with garbage collection, but Lua I can stand because I love the fact that it has a garbage collector that you can tell, hey, I got garbage to collect, but I have only got 5 milliseconds that you can waste on collecting this garbage. Do it. And also the garbage collector is also precisely described in how it works, so there are no surprises there. It even tells you how to optimize for the garbage collector, so how to ping the garbage collector to do its thing. When it comes to those quote-unquote high-level languages, I mean, for me, high-level is anything that actually doesn't have manual memory management. When it comes to high-level languages, there isn't one that you can get so much control over like Lua that has.
I just like this because I've been trying to convince everybody to make games for the Playdate, and it's basically entirely powered by Lua.
Yeah, as far as I know, it runs natively. I mean, Gaming on Linux did a test of the game, and they said it works perfectly fine natively on the Steam Deck.
Shoutouts to the Gaming on Linux guys. It's a thankless job.
But they've shown so much support for Jupiter Hell over all those years. It's really awesome.
It's like them and Rock Paper Shotgun in that one Kotaku article.
Hey, but that one Kotaku article had a great title.
Yeah, it did. It was a good... Well, Kotaku's known for their grabby titles, but When they hit pretty hard.
Yeah, that was really unexpected. Which reminds me that for 1.0, Rock Paper Shotgun never wrote an article.
Tisk.
Kisk.
I wonder if they just missed it.
I think it's too small of a title, and maybe the people that were fans don't work there anymore because there were
Yeah,
some
true.
changes.
I feel like it's also been out long enough now that some people are starting to forget that this is associated with Doom the roguelike. Like, I know that at least initially when it was still coming through the Kickstarter world, I was very much it's a new game from people who made Doom the roguelike, but like I almost never see that anymore. Like, oh yes, that game that's existed for a while. It's like, what? I mean, yes, but
Well, but it's it's a bad and good thing, right? The game doesn't like. It's also like shows that the game doesn't need ZoomRL to be played. I mean, it's not like oh this is for ZoomRL players. No, this is now its own game, right? It doesn't live in the shadow of. What I mean is, it doesn't live in the shadow of the roguelike anymore,
yeah.
which I'm really happy about.
Let's see what we
Kikozaur, the fun fact is that Lua is actually used for programming microcontrollers, as far as I remember. Which, considering that this is such a quote-unquote high-level language, is kind of surprising. But I get your point. Mostly because it's such a small footprint. Like Lua is 300 kilobytes for the whole, language.
Could fit that on a floppy disk.
That's precisely the point. You can fit that on a microcontroller. Sokolas, I'm sorry I'm going to say that, but I also looked at all the libraries and decided to roll my own. Like, there was always a there was always a problem with the existing Lua binding libraries that they either gave you performance, like the code would be handwritten, or they gave you clarity and ease of use. And it was always either or, and I needed both performance and clarity, so I ended up rolling up my own. Yeah, kind of Lisp-like. There's a lot of technically minded people in the chat right now.
So I really
Well-
like this little change that you made, by the way. The little circle that appears when you step on the spikes now. Very nice. Fixes my annoyance with them. Because that I will notice.
The point is that enough?
Yes, that's enough. I was thinking about like this the other night, and I was like, why don't spikes and traps bother me in most roguelikes? And it's because most roguelikes have a event log that I'm staring at the entire time. So it's just like, you've stepped on this. It's like, oh, because like I was playing Grog, which is Thomas Bisnap's little tiny game. And that just, has the classic rogue, like, massive line of text at the top of the screen. That's what just happened. Okay. And it just makes things super clear. But yeah, that's quite literally all I need.
Yeah, Jupiter Hell is more like visual communication.
Yes.
Two curbs. That's, people are still like, I still hear that Jupiter Hell is simple compared to Doom the roguelike, and I totally don't understand that. Like, it was true. It was true when early access came out. It was less true when 1.0 came out, but right now the game's much more complex when it comes to the amount of content, when it comes to amount of mechanics and stuff like that. It definitely surpassed Doom the roguelike.
The people
And
who
I'll gladly talk with people who still think otherwise because, well, I don't know, maybe they played a really long, a really old version.
the people who I know who still prefer Doom the Roguelike is because Doom the Roguelike is full of abusable bugs that aren't communicated to the player that make you feel like you're playing a much deeper game than you actually are.
Well, popularity is really hard to judge. I can tell you that the game has sold 45,000 copies. And Doom the Roguelike was downloaded probably 500,000 times, including the fact that it was in cover CDs and things like that. But how many of those, downloads resulted in people playing? Usually, if you pay for something, there's a much bigger chance that you're actually going to play it for a while.
Yeah, that's the Dwarf Fortress problem. Is because everybody like Dwarf Fortress gets ludicrous numbers of downloads some months, and the like player retention is extremely small because people download it, can't figure out how to generate a world, wonder why the game's trying to crash while they're generating a world, Alt F4 and delete it, and then say that ASCII's scary for some reason. But at least for me, I think culturally, Doom RL made a bigger dent. But
Well, that's true, but it was, it had the range, right? And it was also a moment where when games that were free, made by, not studios, but by, well, I would say the proto indie developers, were starting to get traction. And people were looking for those things and discovered things like Doom the Roguelike. But yeah, Doom the Roguelike is definitely more recognizable. And probably always will. Unless I really make something massively bigger than Jupiter Hell. I mean, massively more popular, not bigger.
I will say, in comparison to recent releases / successors to other games, this certainly was more successful than other recent attempts to remake roguelikes. Which actually makes me really curious to see how Desktop Dungeons Rewind is going to do.
I think they have a chance of doing pretty good. Because it's not Desktop Dungeons isn't a classic roguelike.
No, I mean, it's pretty recent in the grand scheme of things, but still.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's mechanics-wise, it's. I understand why people may call it a roguelike, but it's not the same.
It's similarly niche, and it's a similar audience, but it's a different kind of game.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It's more of just a dungeon crawler.
Yeah, but it was pretty popular back in the day.
I'm curious to play it. Looking forward to it. Need to dump something.
Well, Stone Shard is right now the most popular roguelike.
God. It's got mixed reviews though.
It may hurt, but it's the truth.
Yep.
Doing any sacrificing?
I need to find something to sacrifice. I'm looking around. I haven't cleared the floor yet.
Well, you can always sacrifice the face device you stole from the temple, unless you ditched it.
Oh, true. Yeah, I still have that.
If nothing else comes.
I'm so used to having poison resistance by this point right now.
Oh yeah, you did have it last game. And I'm also like looking at the damage and like, what? It really helps out on IO.
Yeah. Well, it's because, like, normally the early route that I do is I usually either do mines or I do rift. Like, those are my favorite routes to just get all of the poison resistance.
See you in hell, fuckers.
Alright, yeah, I guess I'm sacrificing the phase device.
No, Stone Shard is really, really beautiful, I can tell you that.
I have, to answer that question from Dathonal, I have a 10-day long demo build for creators, which I haven't really had time to touch yet. Or, I guess, content creators, not creators. But to me, it seems more like Stalker than Tarkov. I mean, Tarkov stole all of the things that makes Tarkov cool from Stalker, so...
Hey, what? Wait. Stalker? Now you have my attention.
The game that Dathronal just mentioned, Zero Sievert, it's like top-down pixel art Stalker. With a
What?
bit of Escape from Tarkov chucked in there. Yeah, it's published by Modern Wolf.
Real time, right?
Yeah, real time.
But I gotta see that.
I would play a top-down turn-based Stalker like that, although that's basically just CDDA, so... Take the zombies out.
I would do a top-down turn-based Stalker, definitely.
It just needs like proper faction mechanics and no zombies.
Yeah, and obviously the zone.
Yeah, well, so like the thing with Escape from Tarkov is literally everything that Escape from Tarkov does that's cool. In my opinion, is cooler in Stalker. Because you don't have to tolerate other human beings shooting you from the other side of the map, and you can quick save. Yeah, I mean, also a lot of the original dev team that works on Tarkov used to work at GSC Game World. It's like a large portion of that team moved over. The weird thing with Stone Shard, because I streamed that game for about 4 days when it first launched into early access, and by the third day I was basically telling people, don't buy this game. Everybody was asking me if you could farm like Stardew Valley. Like, everybody straight up thought it was a Stardew game. Like, it's weird how well that game is done. Also, I would recommend playing Stalker Anomaly because it's free. It's just...
I'm interested what will happen with Stalker 2.
Me too. I hope it does well for that studio, but I don't know if I'll enjoy it.
Sorry.
Ow! Freaking poison. Need a gas mask or something.
Much, yeah. If I do Aliens and then yet another science fiction game, I'll lose my artist, because how long can you do Guts and...
Well, I mean, is Stalker really science fiction? I guess it is.
Well, but it's... You know, it's close to Jupiter Hell in terms of modeling equipment and shit like that.
True. I guess it's just a lot more like outdoor environments.
Mm-hmm. Which would be nice change of pace. But I wonder how outdoor would look like with the way we do graphics in Jupiter Hell, for example. I'm trying now to imagine like a green
Caves,
field
but
and
like
walking.
the caves, but trees.
Yeah. Hmm.
I could see.
Oh,
it.
that's a cop out.
I mean, it's like in Tome. There's the.
Damn it! The new level generator didn't appear yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen this new level
I
generator.
was so happy about it.
I do not like these Medusas.
Nobody likes them.
For anybody who hasn't watched much of this game, this enemy type that's following me is far and away the most hated enemy type in the game. Like, I can't even set them on fire.
Top two, let's be honest. Arc Reavers are also really hated.
I will take Reavers all day, every day over these fuckers.
I mean, Arc Warlocks.
Arch Warlocks are fine as long as you can burst them. If you can't burst them, they're a bit annoying. I'm trying to debate if I even want to kill this guy. Speaking of Reavers.
Well, they don't have fire immunity.
Nope.
Yeah, the Medusa is twice as annoying for you because she has fire immunity.
Yep.
So basically your whole build is useless against her.
At least I can hit her. Relatively frequently I'll end up with builds where I just straight up can't hit them. That's why I hate them. It's like, well, not only do I hate you, and you're dodging everything I can shoot, but I also just like don't do damage to you because you're the counter to me.
The Archmedusas don't dodge. They charge.
Same thing.
Need to get rid of some shit.
No, it's not the same thing because it's the question of accuracy versus damage, right?
I don't like them regardless.
Yeah, ditch the EMP.
I need the ammo anyway. Yeah, also I can hack most things at this point. Ooh, I just found a railgun. Do I take the railgun? I kind of want the railgun. What, on the bot? The bot's been kind of brutal to some people, yet somehow Diamond has like 1,000,000 points, but... I mean, I need to sacrifice something, so... Thinking maybe I sacrifice the revolver and pick up the railgun. Thinking that's what I'm doing.
He goes out. I have the same problem with Witcher. On the one side, am I even Polish if I haven't played The Witcher? The Witcher 3 in particular.
I mean, I think what's like... That's like me saying, am I even Canadian if I haven't played Cuphead?
Ouch. Well, you're definitely more fucked than I am.
Yeah, I've never played Cuphead.
I wouldn't do that to myself.
That game's
I'd rather
considered
play
a
Dark
Canadian
Souls.
treasure.
Ouch.
Yeah. Okay, that's a scary room. They're also very uninterested in walking out of here.
Grenade?
Shotgun. It worked.
Yeah, shotgun.
No fucking ammo.
Same idea.
Shotgun's ridiculous with this build. Like it's bloody goofy. It's just like, yo,
Okay.
hey, you like fire?
The whole point was that Fire Angel was always meant to be a shotgun rocket launcher master trait.
Really?
But before this patch, it was actually pretty underwhelming with those two things because, automatics were the main way to increase your amount of stacks, right? But now, finally, people are playing Fire Angel with the two weapons it was intended to be used with.
Hey, fucking.
Well, I really enjoyed Witcher 1, actually, and finished it. And I got bored in Witcher 2 halfway through. But it also might be a me thing.
I made it about 20
That
minutes
was my
into The Witcher
obvious-
2 and then quit.
That was my biggest problem with Stalker. Those really scary laboratories, how I fucking hated them.
You found Stalker scary?
Yeah,
Okay.
the in the laboratories you have this kind of monster that zooms the screen into you, and I really don't like jump scares. One of the reasons why I love Dead Space but cannot play it, I just hate jump scares.
Huh. I don't think a single moment in Stalker jump scared me in any of those games.
Wow.
But then again, I consider Fear to be a comedy, and according to your artist, that game lasted 10 minutes because made it to the first jump scare, then quit. So, you know.
I'm definitely not a person who likes jump scares. I like, horror that is not based around gore and jump scares, but more around, the classic Lovecraftian horror, which you never see the monster, but everything that is built around it actually, instills like a deeper fear into you. I really enjoy that kind of horror, but jump scares or gore, nope.
Psychological horror.
Yeah. For example, I really enjoyed, which people might disagree with me that it was a horror movie. I really enjoyed Apocalypse Now as a
Oh,
horror
that's a horror
movie.
movie. That's a terrifying
I
movie.
loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oy. Glad I got a lot of medkits.
Scout Mastery for shotguns, I think. Isn't Gunrunner on Scout? Or am I remembering
that
stuff
sounds right.
badly? Because if so, that was the intended shotgun mastery. Like there were a few versions before. Most of the masteries had like prerequisite weapon types, but this got blurred really much when I started allowing people to use bigger amounts of bigger ranges of weapons for a given mastery, and I think the game benefited from that because even if you pick a weapon, you have more options right now.
Are you telling me Ghost isn't a shotgun mastery?
No, Ghost is a everything mastery.
Because that's a surprise, motherfucker! Mastery for me. Sneak up
Yeah,
behind them with a double barrel.
sniper shotguns are because shotguns are the only weapons that you can effectively use beyond your vision range. So this is why people mention sniper shotguns.
Yeah, no, I agree with the sniper shotgun take as well.
Okay.
All right. That's first.
By the way,
done.
I see that you sometimes move like wait here, waiting for the next spawn. The ticks of the when the next spawn comes are on move. So unless you move, time doesn't pass in terms of the next spawn.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, you got me, I guess.
It's actually a implementation issue because when I was, when actually not me, when my brother was implementing this mechanic here, we didn't have timers yet, so we made it so that time passes on move.
Huh.
I might at some point fix that towards a regular timer.
I really want to level up so that I can get the toxic smoke cloud instead of the normal smoke screen, so that I can stop getting poisoned all the time. But I wanted,
Toxicologist for the resistance, right?
yep, just for the resistance. That's all I want it for.
Well, it's quite useful against Medusas too.
It's useful against a lot of things, but I mostly want it for the resistance.
That's
There we go. Now I don't take poison anymore. Woo! Although when it comes to horror games, and everybody being terrified of fear, I'm very excited for Tripang 2 because that looks like, or plays like, because I played the demo, fear without the scary little girl part.
I was looking at Callisto Protocol and I was like interested in the story, but I'm definitely sure this is not going to be a game I would enjoy playing.
If it runs on my computer, I will stream that. Ooh, something I've never seen
Let me
before.
see this shit.
Fire crown. Resist burning status. Cool. Enemies on sight are lit on fire. Huh? Is this new?
Oh, this will actually benefit from. Do it. Take it.
Yeah,
Totally take it.
absolutely
because it will
taking it.
benefit from your bonus because the Fire Angel also has a bonus to burning damage, right? So
Yep.
it stacks with the Fire Crown.
And I also just got a fire elixir, which gives me blessing of fire.
Which gives you even.
So hold on,
But it
did
gives
I-
you even more affinity.
Is this the Trogdor build?
You got plus 50% ignite affinity from the Blessing of Fire, and from Fire Angel, I think you've got plus 100.
Hold on.
You would have to look at the description of Fire Angel.
Yes, plus 100 to all burning effects. So plus 100. So I have plus 200 Percent.
No. It's not multiplicative.
Okay,
It's
so then-
additive, but that still means that you get the fire crown effect is increased by 150%. This is going to be interesting. I'm
just-
afraid you won't be able to fully appreciate the difficulty of the new boss.
I mean,
I mean,
That's what
he
it is.
is 75% fire resistant, but not 100.
oy vey.
This will be really interesting.
Yeah, this is gonna be goofy, I think.
Fire Angel, Fire Elixir, Fire Crown.
Then the question is, do I take the better armor or do I stick with the Guardian? Kind of just want to keep the Guardian.
Well, it's a safety precaution, right?
It also heals
If you
me.
mess up, if you mess up something.
All right. This is a very hot build.
It's the hot new thing.
Clearly. You know, I've been
Yeah,
complaining that
I'm
the game
actually-
hasn't been giving
I
me good
haven't-
drops for my builds recently, so about time.
I haven't tested Fire Crown with the fire changes. This is going to be interesting.
All right, let's get outie.
Something strange about this place.
So, for those of you who missed the stream that I did yesterday on Hyperstrange's channel, which is probably most of you, I died in this hallway on the way to the boss. So let's see how this goes. All right, but yeah, I've never seen Fire Crown before, so. Like I was saying, I got 400 hours in this game and I haven't seen everything yet. Already burning. Okay. It's not that intense of a burn.
It gets better with levels.
Okay.
Much better.
Clearly I'm on
I
fire.
can't.
Yep.
I can't remember if it's on site or on range.
Well, that one didn't catch fire. Does it only
Bots
work on
don't-
organics?
Yeah, well, bots do. Yeah, it only works on organics.
Okay. Because bots do take fire damage. Or rather, I assume they take fire
But
damage.
they
'cause
they
get
can't
rock on.
burn, but they take fire damage. That's the issue, and they've got a 50% fire resistance, I think.
That is a lot of plasma grenades. Ow! Imagine if I died there.
Ouch! That was a in-your-face plasma shot.
Yeah. I'm actually going to use the big med kit. That would have been very awkward if I just got one shot there and then used the Guardian. So I'm assuming
Oh yeah, the
everything's-
Guardian would have saved you.
Yep. Still would have been awkward. I love how quiet we get in these tense moments. So that they can burn as well. We need suicide robots, especially now that we have the fanatics. Which, by the way, I haven't seen any since you popped onto the call, but I really like those. Those are neat. Oh, hey, it does the lock you in the arena thing. Interesting. The Ancient. Eh?
And it's already burning.
It is already burning. How do you like grenades? That's a pretty chunk. Oh, geez. Interesting. Now the question is, do they take poison damage?
2 lies, 1 truth.
One very ominous red dot. Ow. That hurt.
Fucking reload already.
I'm actually just going to do this. And reload this thing. See if you take poison damage. Hey, there's a chest. That's neat.
Got 75% resistance until he loses his armor. Once he loses his armor, he's 50%.
Need to reload.
Oh, be careful.
That hurt.
Oh, that's the
Did you get? No, you didn't. You get Guardian Angeled.
No, I didn't. I just went down to 1 HP.
Ha! Blind luck.
Yeah. Still effective. You haven't added that achievement yet, though.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I did. Even recently, somebody posted a mortem with blind luck.
Huh. I don't think I've gotten it then. I think that's him. Nope.
There's no difference. One is real, two are fake.
Oh,
There's no way
interesting.
to tell. Which makes the BFG, unless they're really close, a really good universal decider. Yeah, I think he might die.
You think I might die?
No, he.
Oh, I was gonna say. I still have more medkits. That is a pretty tough boss. I could see how that would be a pain in the ass on harder difficulties. Jesus.
Well, but
we
everybody
got him.
was, you know, saying how Cryomancer is too easy.
I do like how unique it is, though. I mean, in comparison to,
It's strategically interesting, I think.
yeah, it's strategically interesting, but it's super different than everything else. Ancient power grants 25% damage bonus against demonic enemies. Ooh,
Definitely good.
yeah, definitely. It's good to know there's 2 medkits in there, though. Can you skip this boss? Jump straight to the
Yes.
teleporter? Okay.
You can either run around him or use an ancient. You could actually enter the level and use an ancient phase device to get right by the portal and then just run away.
Speedrun strats.
Definitely. Okay. That. It's the first time I've seen a full fight against him, you know, without cheats. So I'm happy with how it turned out.
I'm just happy I didn't die.
I'm happy it was a challenge and you didn't die.
I have a question. Did you make those pillars fall down yet?
Sure ain't I.
Which ones? Oh, the ones
end
with
of
the boss
Dante?
fight? No.
Okay,
This will
good.
happen this release probably.
Boo. So for those of you who don't know, the final boss of this game has a set of 2 pillars behind them, and everybody just uses it as cover, and this man here keeps on threatening to make them fall apart, and it makes me sad because it's like the best strat is just hide behind those pillars and then just shoot them.
That's a cheese strat.
It's not a cheese strat, it's a strat. Strat's a strat.
I mean, if everybody is using it, it's a cheese strat.
It's just effective, okay?
I won't say they'll be like the other ones, so they'll fall apart like paper. I'm just saying that at least during the whole fight, you shouldn't be spending it in one place.
Just, you know, make other invincible pillars and we'll hide behind those too. But I'm not too worried. Dante kind of kills itself at this point, so. Also, it is still only on medium, which means I'm going to get cocky and die to the boss, probably. But that would be par for the course, frankly. Oh, also, all vending machines were sideways in the first zone.
Not again. Oh wait, the first zone. No,
In
wait.
Mimir Habitat is where all the vending machines were sideways.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not that bad. I think I corrected the Europa ones, but never corrected the Habitat ones. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hoping I get to level up this helmet before the boss
How
fight.
How far is it?
It is. We'll get 1 level up, maybe 2. I need... What do I need? I need 12 gauge. And let's say... napalm grenades. But I got no room in inventory. Boo. I don't need that red card, so napalm grenades it is.
To be honest, what does a red card even do here?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they should have a max. They shouldn't drop on Dante.
It didn't drop. I had it in my inventory previously.
Ah, okay.
Actually, no, fuck it. I'm gonna hack you. Oh, do my bidding. Robit. That was very effective of you, robot. Waste of a bunch of multi-tools. But I think that, like, I know that you and me were talking after my stream yesterday, and you were saying that there's some things about this update that, you know, aren't as in-depth as previous things. I think now that I've seen that boss fight, it's a really cool update regardless.
Yeah, the boss I'm actually proud of. That's true. Especially, it's the first animated texture that we have in the game also, so it was also some, you know, technical work too. You might die. No. Okay.
I'm not gonna die here, but yeah, I might die. I'm, like, annoyingly low right now. But most of the things on the map are dead, so... And I do have auto meds, so I will gain some HP back, but I feel kind of weak. Like, I don't have that many defensive traits right now. I put too many
Everything is
points.
full offense. Yeah.
Yeah, I put too many points into, what's it called? Hacking, I think. But...
But yeah, we really wanted you. I heard a recent compliment that I really liked. I usually don't talk about such things, but this compliment made me extremely happy. Somebody wrote that Jupiter Hell has the best boss design among all traditional roguelikes.
I mean, they feel like arena shooter fights, which is not an easy thing to pull off in a game like this. I think I can just say that.
I'm really happy with the fact that you know all bosses are not just, you know, equipment checks and HP sponges, which would be boring. But on the other hand, you have to make sure that, you know, every master trait and class actually has chances to. Ooh, now what were those two guardians doing? Oh, level up.
They were stuck in the elevator. I was hoping that they'd move towards me, but they didn't seem super interested.
So yeah, the Callista Warden has his, you know, two phases thing and being in a shell, so high offense, full defense mode. The Cryomancer has his spikes that actually change the arena, and okay, he probably needs a little bit of a buff to be more interesting, but yeah, there is also an important mechanic there, and you can make him easier by gaining either fire damage or by gaining wow, exalted summons in Dante's
Did
Station.
nothing spawn? I haven't seen a single enemy yet, except for the
Well,
exalted.
that means there's a big pack on the other side, probably.
Oh, probably. Which means I'm probably just gonna leave.
It's always a good idea on Dante.
To just leave.
Yeah. I'm really happy about the fact that many people, you know, who do 100% runs on Dante, they're like just, oh, fuck it.
Yep.
Like, not today.
Let's put another point into cover master. And just go for the exit. I mean, I managed to have like one hole clear. Like, I almost didn't kill a single thing on that map. I don't think I've ever done that before. Always have to kill at least something. I killed a single Medusa, that was it. I killed it with smokescreen.
Oh, you had a multi-tool. I was worried about that.
I have 2 of them. Oh my god. Good lord. A double Medusa show up. Not a fan.
Well, at this stage of the game, they often appear in pairs.
I mean, it is only medium, so my expectations for certain things showing up is going to be smaller.
But now you have a counter.
Yeah. And we've made it to Dante. So.
Fuck am I?
All right.
Okay.
No room in inventory, really? I guess we fight this fight with the jackhammer until I run out of ammo, and then swap over to the other stuff. I got
Well,
one
Godspeed.
stim pack, I got some grenades, I got some napalm, I got a large med kit, and a large combat pack, so fingers
You should be good.
crossed that's enough. So chat, what do you think? Do we win? Yes or no? Just yes or no. And then we can let Epion enjoy his evening unless he wants to stay on the call. Up to you at that point.
Yeah, today it will.
I mean, the last
I'm
one of
really
these we did
tired
was 6
recently.
hours, and this time you're like, yeah, like an hour.
Yeah.
Let's keep it reasonable.
Finally.
I do still have, what's it called? Guardian.
Oh, he is burning a little bit.
A little bit. I'm more happy about the enemies burning.
Yep, and they're burning really brightly.
That actually went in the opposite direction than I wanted it to. I wanted it to go with this guy. Jesus fucking Christ, damage. Well, there goes Guardian Angel. I don't think I'm gonna win. But that's just me. Let's just see how much damage I can do with these grenades.
Well, just cover everything in fire so that anything that comes will actually die. Yeah, this is the reason why Fire Angel is balanced.
Balanced? I
Yep.
beg your pardon?
It kind of sucks against the boss. Don't throw at him when he's violet. That means that
Too late.
his damage gate is.
I still have a stim. How close is this guy? Well, everything else is dying, so there's that. This is ridiculous.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
Too late.
It is ridiculous, but you're lacking damage, obviously.
Damage? What damage? I don't have damage. I just burn things. God, I wish
If
that
you
I
get-
had a
If you
vampiric
get in,
weapon.
if you get into
I'm
the
dead.
last stage, if you would get into the last stage, he would burn crisply.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I
gee.
just... Well,
Yeah, you
chat, you
didn't
were all
have-
wrong.
You didn't have anything good for boss damage. That was the problem.
No. Alas. Yep. Alas. I mean, was comical. Railgun? Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, there
railgun
was that
I-
railgun.
If I'd used the railgun, I would have died to enemies, though. Would I not have?
No, because the crown would put them on fire.
Actually, I think the issue was I tried to get behind him too quickly. If I just stayed up at the front and then left when Guardian Angel popped and grabbed the other armor back at the front,
Yep.
I would have been fine. But, you know, I think that ends this portion of the stream. I think that you should go to bed or do whatever you do in the evenings. And thanks for joining us.
No, I probably need to get some food first.
Get some food and then go to bed. Don't watch my stream all night. All of the above.
Yeah, I'll take today off. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, this has been fun. And of course, the game's on sale. 35% off. Go buy it. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for the chat. Let's do it again next version.
Hell yeah. And we can do it when you release another game as well.
Yeah,
This isn't
definitely.
limited to just Jupiter Hell, obviously.
Or when I have something to show that isn't released yet, maybe.
Sure. That'd be cool. Already down.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Arrow. See, there's some
Okay.
people who watch these who don't own the game already. We had this discussion once before where you're like, everybody who watches these owns the game already. It's like, that's not true. But anyway, till next time. Cheers, dude.
Till next time. Cheers.
All right, well, I've now dropped out of the call. So, I'm going to go take a leak. Chat room. And when I return, we will continue. Although I'm taking you guys off stream now. What, built an entire game and their own engine and all that jazz? Someone has to. I'll be back in a couple seconds. I'm just gonna go take a leak. All right, I've returned. But yeah, also if you missed any of that, that whole thing's gonna be like kaputted out into YouTube in the next few days. But, you know, I was just skimming an email.